just to clarify, the plan is not to have it completely dark. I'm still going to have the flashlight on. But if you guys have watched any of my lives, you will know, hey Gunner, that even though the goslings do follow me during the day, they're usually not this, like, close to my feet nonstop. They're much more likely to run off and, like, maybe let out some steam or, like, just let out some energy while they run in a circle around me and things like that. And just, explore a little bit. And they'll go a little bit further away from me. Not far, just a little bit. But I figured I'd give you guys a different image of what a mama goose is most likely dealing with at night with her goslings and what the goslings' focus is. Now I'm getting to the taller grass because generally, come on, babies. Excuse me. Still sick. It's only been a couple of weeks. Come on, babies. So now, once I got into some taller grass, I sprayed some water all over the place. The goslings will, since it just came out, we'll do some foraging, which is completely normal. That's going to be their hyper focus at first. Now, what I can't show you guys is that if I were to turn my flashlight off, all 5 of my goslings, and I'm crouching down, so I'm basically in a crouch position, bended at the knee, where I'm still on my feet, and the thing is that if I were to take the light away, all 5 of the goslings would immediately start cuddling into me, and they would actually start going to sleep. And y'all can let me know in the comments if you want me to do that, turn off the light, and then turn it back on once they've cuddled in. But you'll kind of notice that they're going to stay real close to me because their survival depends on me protecting them. And they know that. Instinctively, they know that they must remain with the person who they imprinted on, whoever their mom and their dad is, to remain safe and to survive. Yes, babies, I know. It's dark out, huh? You stay close to mama? You can see all 5 of them are literally right here. This is my leg. And this is completely normal behavior for late in the evening. Now here's the thing. I've had a long day. And obviously my birds are all already put up. But I didn't get around to doing the water earlier for the birds. So I am late just to go and give them some fresh water before the final complete lockup. When I say the final lockup, I'm not saying that the door wasn't closed or that they weren't safe. The birds are all inside the coop and all locked away safely. I just hadn't given them their fresh water yet. So I'm doing that right now. And I decided to bring the goslings out with me while I do that. Today was one of those days where just circumstances kind of kept me from getting a lot of things done at the time that I wanted to get them done. And I didn't really have the chance to bring the goslings out much today, which usually I do every day. So normally it is part of my daily routine to be outside with the goslings for, I would say, at least an hour. and usually at least twice a day. Usually when I let my birds out, or shortly after I let my birds out. And then the second time is right after I put my birds up, or in the evenings while I'm doing chores after locking my birds up. Hey, Simba. No, Simba is not a concern. Now, here's the thing. I ain't gonna trust Simba, okay? He's a cat. He still has his own instincts, and it does not make him a bad kitty. It just means that he's going to be... It's going to be possible that he may end up acting on instinct and doing something that he normally wouldn't do. In this case, he specifically. He's chasing bugs. And I think he's using the fact that I've got a light on my phone right now to use it. Because he knows it's going to attract some bugs. Anyway. And yes, I'm super tired. It's been one of them long days. But yeah, as you can see, this is my knee right here. And the goslings are going to stay very, very close to me because everything's dark out. They're going to come as close as they can to where I am. And they're going to chow down for a while because they haven't gotten a chance to do a lot of foraging today. And like I said before, if I were to take away the flashlight, they would pretty much just start snuggling into me and start going to sleep. And they would try to get as close to me as they could, all just piling as close to me as they can, and going to sleep. And goslings will then trust their parents to protect them overnight. And this is the reason why I always say that when you raise goslings, if you want that cute thing where they run after you, you know, and you want that adorable, super cute, sweet thing where, you know, you or your kid can walk around on your property and have a little gosling following you everywhere you go, keep in mind that letting a gosling or encouraging a gosling to imprint on you really does come with responsibility. Especially when it's one by itself, when you'll have just one single gosling, it is a huge responsibility. And I would urge you to look into, not telling you what to do, like not telling you to take action right away, but what I would do is urge you to look into and consider potentially getting a second gosling, or at least some sort of bird friend for your gosling that can be with them in the brooder 24/7. Um, because companionship is huge for geese. Family is huge for geese. They instinctually, they just are very much reliant on that. And they're starting to get closer and closer. Like I said, I'm in like a, what's it called? Sitting on my heels or something like that position. Uh 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 uh. But But once that gosling trusts you, and it's all amazing about how they've imprinted on you, and they're running after you, and it's so adorable and it's so cute, this gosling is going to psychologically and emotionally attach to you, not only for following you around and trusting you to show them where to go and where to forage, but this gosling is going to also rely on you for protection, and it's going to look to you for protection 24/7. So when you put them in a brooder and you walk away, this gosling's going to cry, because in their mind, their instinct tells them that the creature they imprinted on, which their parent, is their ticket to survival. That losing their parent is the equivalent of, a 99% chance of dying. So they do end up very, very anxious when you're not around. So when I hand raise my goslings, um, they spend 99% of the day with me. And we're talking, they have a brooder set up right next to my bed so they can see me at night. Um, they have setups where they can go with me, say if I'm working in the kitchen or something, or if I'm doing something in the living room. Um, I have it set up in a way where they can stay with me throughout the day and feel safe, rather than having them crying up a storm and freaking out, thinking that they're going to die because, I walked away because I've got other things to do. Also, keep in mind, goslings do grow up very quickly, but they're going to look to you for guidance for around approximately the first year of their life. Even though they're going to appear fully grown, they're not going to be adults. Especially if you have an exotic breed like a Canada goose, or any goose breed that hasn't been domesticated for an extended period of time. Um, they usually take years to mature to actually get to the point of mating. And sorry that I keep losing where they're at on the camera. I am constantly looking around and trying to pay attention to our surroundings. Um, in case of predators, stray cats, things like that. But what was I saying? Anyway, I forgot my train of thought. But the point I'm trying to make is that adorable, I'm following you everywhere behavior that they do with us, it's also going to come with a lot of responsibility, because they're going to look at us for protection, they're going to look at us for comfort, they're going to look at us for socialization, they're going to look at us for nourishment, they're going to look at just the whole thing. And geese are very, very, very family oriented, and it's very important to them to be with family from a very, very early age. They're flock animals. They're very hyper focused and instinctually will want to be with um what they perceive to be their family. And you can see, even though my flashlight's on, they're all at my feet. And they're all gonna stay very close to me because it's dark out. And not only is this the only place where there's light, but I'm also what they know as protection. This one's straight up just sitting on my foot. Look at that. And they'll do stuff like this. And then they make the little sounds, my favorite little noise that they make. I'm gonna shut up so y'all can hear it. be real quick to start crying out here, but like a very quiet, a very kind of cry that they let out when they think they've lost me in the dark. It's actually a very different kind of cry. It doesn't go into that loud, panicky cry that they usually use indoors. I'm sorry, outside when it's bright. Like when the sun is up, they're very quick to start crying out loud. Whereas when they lose you or they think they've lost you or you're too far away from them, they get scared at night. It's more and more quiet where you just go, like it's a whining sound. You can definitely differentiate it. And it's a more quiet sound. And it doesn't mean that they won't get loud, but I've noticed with the Canada goslings, they will start out much more quiet when it's dark out. Um, and then if it takes a while for them to find parent, that's when they get louder. And again, you can see I walked over here, like 30 seconds ago, and they're already starting to cuddle up because it's evening time. It's sleepy time. It's bedtime, right? Mm-mm. 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 The pile of goslings. This is what happiness looks like, guys. Look. You're welcome. Listen. Mm-mm. Alright, I'm gonna let you guys see what happens if I turn off the flashlight for a minute. Mm-mm. 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 Don't worry, I'll turn it back on in just a second. Mm-mm. They're already nuzzling into me. Just listen. Y'all curious what the result is? You know what? Without a flashlight for what, like 60 seconds or so? Right? Maybe 30 seconds. Ready to find out? They're all piled under me. My foot. They're literally piled underneath. So I turn the light back on, and then some of them will go back to foraging a little bit. Other ones will continue cuddling. Other ones will continue grooming. Anyway, I wanted to let you guys see what happens when the lights go off with goslings. Their instinct is to immediately nuzzle into you. And they do this for two reasons. They do this, well, for three reasons, really. One reason is comfort. They do it for comfort. They want to cuddle. They want to be, close to their family. And this is a fact. This is not anecdotal. This is not something where I'm like humanizing the animals. No. Geese are proven by the biologists and scientists, based on all of the research that they've done. Geese are highly emotional animals who are very attached to their families. The second thing is the reason they'll cuddle up to you is for that potential warmth. Their parents are a huge source of their body temperature regulation for them. So they instinctively want to be close to me, because if they get cold or anything like that overnight, or a storm comes in or anything, their mama goose and daddy goose are going to be what helps them regulate their own body temperature and what's going to help them stay warm. And then the third thing, of course, is going to be protection and safety. Being with the parent is going to enable them to stay safe overnight, because the parents are going to watch over them. Geese commonly, and I may not have this right in my memory, it's been a long time since I've researched this part, like several years. But if I remember correctly, geese generally will only sleep approximately no more than 30 minutes at a time. And they basically sleep in intervals. So their nights are like multiple naps over and over and over again. Geese can even fly in a sleep-like state. And they also can fly upside down. How cool is that? Anyway, but the parents will basically take turns. The entire flock will be involved in this, of having a parent stand guard and pay attention to surroundings while the other parent gets some rest, and the goslings are sleeping. And then the parents switch off. And it basically creates an environment where one of the parents is always keeping watch. Now, the majority of the time, it's usually the male that's watching over and protecting the family. Um, up, uh, you guys ready? Come on, let's go get the water bowl ready so we can go back inside. Anyways, but you guys got to see real quick kind of what happens whenever lights go off, and it gets dark out, and you have goslings that are imprinted on you. This is what they want to do. This is what their instinct tells them to do. So please don't be upset with them when they cry at night. Please don't be upset with them when you leave them in the brooder, in the washroom, or in the mudroom, or even in your living room or in your bedroom, and you walk away and the goslings start crying and start getting quote unquote annoying. It is a part of raising geese, is that if you're socializing with them, almost fell over that rock. When you socialize them to the human and they imprint on the human, chances are they're going to see you as they would a goose parent, and they're going to treat you as such, meaning that they will look to you for survival. And in the wild, especially for Canada goslings, who are much closer In this case, these are from a bloodline that have been in captivity legally for a longer period of time, but they're still much closer related to their wild cousins than, say, an African or a Chinese goose that was domesticated, say, a couple thousand years ago. Um, and their instincts are very strong, and they're going to know that if they don't have mom and dad, that's basically a death sentence to them. If they lose their parents, no matter what time of the day it is, the chances of survival become significantly lower. Mm-mm-mm. 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 Mm. 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 Anyway, guys, I wanted to let you guys see that real quick. We're already almost at 30 minutes live time. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get off here so I can go ahead and finish up the water and give my birds water and then lock up again and go inside and go to bed because I am tired. I'm exhausted. But I hope that anybody who might be curious what it's like raising goslings, especially goslings who have strong instincts to imprint and who have imprinted on their human, and as you can see, will follow their human everywhere their human goes, it is really, really important to keep in mind that when you're raising these animals, in their minds, your mom, your dad, and they need you in that exact way. So, if you're not willing to put in the time for at least the first 48 weeks, especially if you have a single gosling by itself that's going to need 48 hours attention. Yes, I said 48 hours, like 24/7 attention. We joke around about it, but it is true. A single gosling is going to need significantly more attention. Is going to need to be with you 24/7. And in that case, if you do not plan to get a second gosling to be your gosling's buddy, to get him a sibling to grow up with, which I would recommend you look into and inform yourself why it's good to do that, what are the pros and cons. I just encourage you to research it before making a decision, like thoroughly research it, because there are a lot of very important benefits that come along with them having a sibling with them, um, including understanding boundaries and learning to be better geese, much like puppies that are taken from their parents or siblings at a too young of an age and then hand raised by themselves by a human. They often have behavioral issues later in life because they don't understand boundaries, because they were never taught them by their own kind. And this can really help with goslings to have them be well-adjusted adults later as well, is to have a sibling, like at least one sibling, where they can learn about boundaries and pecking order and other things and rivalry and, like things like that are important. And they can also get comfort from that sibling, which is something they're going to naturally want. Anyway, I hope this helps anyone who's considering getting a gosling. I always recommend that if you're considering it or you have gotten a gosling, that you attempt to be there for your gosling literally as much as possible for the first 7 or 8 weeks. Okay, like for the first 7 or 8 weeks, they're going to still they're going to still be physically smaller and reliant on you for a lot of protection, and they will have a much wider range of predators that will try to get to them. So Plus, they learn the most during that time. And after that time, they will start kind of exploring off on their own a little bit more, but they will still look to you for guidance for most likely the entire first year of their life, especially if you have an exotic breed. Um, like with Canada geese, they usually stay with their parents for an entire year before they go off on their own. And even then, they don't mate until they are 2 or 3 years old at least. Come on, babies. Mm-mm-mm. Good job. Good job listening. Yes, good job. And goslings are adorable, and I know they are. Trust me. Absolutely love goslings. Hi, baby. Mm-hmm. Where's my ducky? Here's a little update on Ducky. Hi, Ducky. Mm-hmm. Ducky's doing good. The beak is healing. Ducky's overbite has not gotten any worse. Or underbite, whatever it's called. Where, like, the bottom beak is jutting out further than it should. Mm-mm-mm. But, yeah. If you're going to raise goslings and you're going to raise a single one, I would recommend looking into a gosling diaper or a goose diaper. Those exist. Um, the great thing about waterfowl is that you can literally just fix them up a little pool, and every time you go to change that little diaper or whatever, you literally just take it off and let them go splash in the pool, and they'll clean themselves up. So you're not having to actually do any of the cleaning of the animal. Um, they'll wipe their own butt kind of thing. But it can be a great way to make your job a little bit easier when it comes to raising one single gosling by itself. Keep in mind, goslings are very much like human toddlers in the sense that they will eat everything. And this includes trash, plastic, paper, anything they will find. So it's also important to try and keep your yard and your floor at home free of debris. And they will try to forage the carpet. And y'all, if y'all have long hair, sorry, if y'all have long hair, any of you, and you're raising up a gosling, make sure that you vacuum often, especially on your carpeted areas, because we will shed our hair as people with longer hair. When we shed our hair, there's a lot of long hair strands that you don't visually see, and these goslings will literally forage on your carpet, and they'll start eating hair, and hair can cause them to become impacted. Basically, to be simple in explanation, what an impaction is for a goose, it's basically like kind of like being constipated, just that it's at the beginning of the digestive system instead of the end. So instead of there being a block and they're unable to defecate, instead there's a block and they're unable to process the food that's supposed to move from their crop into their stomach. Um, so the crop kind of I compare to like a holding area or like a pantry or something for their food. Like that's where all the food goes first and kind of stays there as it then is moved into the digestive stream, the digestive system where um, you'll have the stomach and the grit that starts grinding down the grass. Um, and then the other thing to keep in mind if you're getting a gosling is that goslings are very different from ducklings. Just because they're both waterfowl doesn't mean they're the same animal or that they have remotely the same needs. The only thing they really have in common is their water needs. Goslings and ducklings both need to have water deep enough to fit their entire head so that they can clean their nostrils. And that's pretty much, yeah. Anyway, I hope this helps anyone who might have been wondering. And I will see you guys next time. You guys say night night. Say night night. Say night night. Night night. Mm-mm. 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 Aren't they adorable though? Sorry, I keep looking around and trying to make sure that we don't have any stray cats coming up. Anyway, I'm gonna get off here. Gotta go finish up. And I'll see you guys probably tomorrow with the daytime video, most likely. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful evening, that seeing the goslings will have brought you some joy. If you're looking for some information on goslings, or you're just curious about goslings, or maybe you're raising your own or considering raising your own, that this video has been informative for you. And as always, I encourage you all to do your own research, check up on everything that you learn from anyone, whether it's me or someone else. Always double check the information that you get on the internet, because just because I own these animals and my animals appear to be doing well does not mean that I'm doing everything right. I could have misunderstood something, I could have misinterpreted something, I could be, even if I'm doing it right and I understood it properly, I could have communicated it in the wrong way, or I could have not done a very good job describing what needs to be done or our responsibility in the process and things like that. So it's just things to take into consideration. Make sure you do your own research, so that you can make sure that you understand things that you need to know to be able to properly care for your goslings. Anyway, I hope everyone has a beautiful night. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Say night night. Night night. Mommy's tired. Mommy's tired. No goofballs. Where's your face? Hi. Hi, cute face. Hi, cute face. Anyway, good night, y'all. Thank you for stopping in tonight.